All right, so I'm about to do my Mound group tally sheet for the county of Milwaukee County. And here are all of the things that I'm going to need on the side. You are not going to be doing Milwaukee County, but you can follow along with me so you know how it works. You will be doing Dodge County instead. Okay, so I'm going to need to select a tool here, and I'm going to choose my pencil. I'm going to click on it again so I can get the very tiniest pencil of all. Then I'm going to make sure my color is nice and dark. And then I'm going to look up here where it says Bobian, and I'm going to look for that same spot in Milwaukee County. And I see one shape here, and that shape does not have a head, but the closest shape that it is a panther. Is a panther. So I'm going to put a tally mark there. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at Indian Fields. So I find the number 2 and I see Indian Fields, and I see, wow, 2 panthers. So I will put 2 panthers there. 1, 2. My tallies may not be perfect. And now I need to figure out, what are these other things? Well, if they're circles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they're called conical mounds. So I'm going to go ahead and do 7 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then if they're these straight ones that don't have any feet, those are called the linear ones. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and finish up on my own so you can see what my finished project will look like. Hey, just as I was finishing up, I thought I better tell you a tip. So you can see I filled in most of my chart here. I still need to see this section here, the Schlitz Park, and I can't see it very easily right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, and this will make all of my tools disappear. Boom. So that helps me a lot because I can see this better, plus I can write more easily down here. So I still have to add some of my linear shapes. So I have to count how many of those linear shapes I've got. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going over here to where it says linear, and I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 beautiful tallies. Now it's time for me to make my totals, which I will now do. All right, now you can see my totals, and you can see that there were some that I had 0 for, and you will too, and that is perfectly okay. But you can see that in the Milwaukee group, only 3 birds and 3 gooses, but there were 24 panthers, so I guess the people that were in this region really like that panther shape. Didn't have any turtles or any of the other kinds of animals, only had 1 bear, no minks at all. They had 34 conical mounds, and they had 16 of the linear mounds, and only 2 of something else. So that's pretty interesting, and we'll have to find out when you do yours what you find out. All right, so now that I've done all my tallying here and found out some information about these cool different types of effigy mounds that there are in Milwaukee County, it's time for me to move on and actually make a bar graph. So here I go. So here I've got my tally sheet for reference, and I need to be able to tell how many birds, how many geese, panthers, turtles, animals, bears, mink, conical, linear, and other there were. And I need to make my own bar graph. So I'm going to actually need to get a shape that is shaped like a bar. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to grab a rectangle. And once I've grabbed a rectangle, I am going to size it so it's just perfect. Ooh, let's try that again. It's just perfect for fitting in here. And once I have that, perfect, then I'm going to shrink it way down so it's only the size of 1. And I'm going to make a duplicate of it. So if I click here, I can get this duplicate thing. And then I have another one down a little bit lower. And so I know that I have birds, right? Because I have 3 of them. And I'm also going to need to have geese. So I'm going to put 1 down here. I'm also going to need a lot of panthers. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that again. And put that down here for the panthers. And I'm not going to need to have any turtles or animals. I'm only going to need 1 bear, but I will need a bear. So I'm going to duplicate that. And the next one I'm going to put is the bear. Okay, here it goes. Then I don't have any mink, but I am going to need a lot of conical. So I'm going to go ahead and copy again. Oops, that's not working so great, is it? Let's try this one. Oh no, goodness gracious. So when this happens, you have to move it down, as you may know, friends. So I'm going to move this one, move it down. I also am going to get rid of that, see if that helps a bit. Then I am going to duplicate. And I'll put this one back here. And this one I was going for conical. And then let's see, I'll do another duplicate, and that one will be linear. And another duplicate. And this one is going to be other. Okay, great. Now I'm all set, because I know I have at least one. All right, now I'm noticing that this goes by twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. And so I'm going to want to make sure that, oh, and it's kind of funny, it looks like it maybe got a little cut off here, but this is supposed to be 12, 14, 16, 18. Well, who knows about how that happened. In any event, oh, maybe it's because I need to move this over a little. Haha, I guess that explains it. All right, so now I need to take this and I need to figure out how I'm going to show 3 on here because, well, I guess I figured out that 1 is going to be in between 0 and 2. So 3, it makes sense, right? It's going to be between 2 and 4. And I'm just going to do my best. I don't have to be perfect. All right, then I'm going to have to do the same thing for goose. Oh, goodness, how did I miss goose? Don't know how I did that, friends. But I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. And do the same thing here. So it's also going to be 3. So easy, right? I'll just match it up with that one. Then this one is going to be 24. Okay, here we go. It's a little tricky. So 24, and I'm just going to have to be careful. Get as close as I can here. 24. I think I got that pretty well. All right, then for this turtle, there are 0. Oh, I see. I must have ended up with this in the wrong spot. So I don't need this. And I don't need animal, but I do need bear. And 1 bear is perfect. So I'm just going to leave that right where it is. For conical, I need to have 34. And you can see that 34 is the max. So that's what I'm going to go for, is all the way to the top. There we go. You see that it kind of gets blurry when you're moving it. You may have to move it more than one time. Then when I do linear, I'll do that to 16. All right, 16 again, it's blurry, so it's a little tricky to try to figure this out, but I think I'm getting here. 16, let me just go straight over. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. And for other, I have only 2, so that will be pretty easy, I hope. There, 2. And maybe I'll make that just a little shrimpier. Oh, not quite that shrimpy. There we go. All right, so I completed my bar graph, and now I can really see how much of each thing I had. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to find out what you find out when you are doing your same activity with Effigy Mounds from Grant County. Now it is time for me to move on from this, and I'm going to have to take a look at the next page. So we're going to go ahead and turn this back on again so I can see all the different pages, and I'm going to go down to the 3rd page. And it says, what did you learn from the data you collected? I discovered, well, you're going to have an advantage that I don't have, because by the time you're looking at your Grant County data, you'll already know what the Milwaukee County data is like. So you could even compare it and say, hey, I learned that in Grant County, people are much more likely to make this type of effigy mound or something else. I can't wait to find out what you do discover.